Hello dear scholars, I am here today to give you few information on time management. Hope this will give you adequate information that you expect. Time is a central resource around the use of which clusters many management concepts and behaviors. It is the integrative resource in management. When any other resource is being used, such as money or skill, time is also being used. The importance of time as a resource is brought out in the familiar sayings as time and tide tarry for no man, time is fleeting, time is the stuff life is made up of, and so on. Now of late we give more importance for time management because the demand what we have for time. Those days we had less demand, we are expected to do less activities and we had adequate time, but now it is not like that. We have limited time within which we have to perform various other activities. Time is a central resource around the use of which clusters many management concepts and behaviors. It is the integrative resource in management. When any other resource is being used, such as money or skill, time is also being used. The importance of time as a resource is brought out in the familiar sayings as time and tide tarry for no man, time is fleeting, time is the stuff life is made up of, and so on. The major objectives of this presentation is to understand the tools in time management, to know the factors influencing time use, to gain knowledge on steps in time planning, and to learn few tips in time management. Let us see the characteristics of time now. Time is an intangible resource. It is limited in quantity. It is available in the same extent to all. It is one of the resources that is shared by all alike. It is one of life's greatest equalizer. Time is moving forever, never standing still or waiting for anyone. It cannot be saved for future. By itself, it has no value. It is the individual and what he does with the time that gives time the greatest value. Time has no marginal utility. There is no saturation point in the use of it. Use of time directly affects the use of other resources also. Allocation of time has major effect on quality of one's life. Now we will see the definition of time management. Cormier in 1983 defined time management as gaining control over what you do, when you do it, how you do it, and why you do it. Perception of time. There are three perceptions of time. They are linear separable perception, where they say time stretches from the past into the future. Next is circular perception, where the same events are repeated according to some cyclic pattern, and procedural perception, where some people are procedure driven rather than time driven. Now we will see how time is being measured. Time could be measured as hours and minutes by the use of clock or similar devices and is known as clock time. The passage of time is noted by timing as hour, days, weeks, months and years. The biological time is denoted by the internal clocks within the body and is revealed by physical changes in the body. The years of infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood and old age are indicators of biological time. The psychological time denotes the awareness of passage of time. Some people are credited with time sense. To an energetic, enthusiastic person, time runs quickly, but to an unhealthy or bored person, time runs slowly. Every individual has definite demand upon time, and planning the use of time for the family happiness and goal realization is very essential. The basic aims of time management are for reducing work time, to maintain balance between work, rest and leisure. It helps to know time norms, that is the average time spent for various activities. It makes one aware of the demands of time at a definite period, example at different stages of family life cycle. It also gives an awareness to do the various day-to-day activities in a planned manner with complete satisfaction. There are certain tools in time management. Those tools are whatever may be the stage of the family life cycle, whether it is expanding, beginning or contracting family, certain factors condition time management. Knowledge of these tools is helpful to aid an effective use of time. The first one is time norm. It is the average time taken for carrying out various household tasks as cooking, cleaning the utensils, mopping the floor, or carrying the infant. Work unit. Work unit helps to establish the time norm. Work unit is the amount of household work done in 1 hour under average condition by an average worker. Workload. The workload is the sum of various work units. Peak load. For some people, activities pile on each other at certain times of the day, week, month, or the season. This is referred as peak load. The pack period may be reduced by starting the work early, completing work in advance, sharing some work with others. Work curve. Work curve helps in studying changes in the output of work at different stages of work period or even a day. A typical work curve is described as saddle-backed, starting sluggishly with a sharp rise as the worker gets into his stride. At the end of warming up period, production continues in a steady rate. That is called the plateau. After the plateau, the work curve registers a decline in productivity with a fresh spurt at the work nears its end. This arises a second plateau after lunch or rest, but it does not reach as high as the earlier one. Rest periods. A rest period need not be necessarily complete cessation from work, but it is a need after every manual labor. This is essential while planning one's time. Planning for rest period at the required time is very essential. It has a great influence on the output of work. The ways of taking rest are relaxation by lying down. In most relieving sense, it requires less expenditure of energy than any other body position. It is desirable after heavy manual labor. Complete relaxation in a sitting position gives relief. Involving an alternate type of job and recreation in between as a pleasant conversation may help in providing rest period. Length and frequency of rest period should be considered while planning one's time. Rice et al. In 1986 states certain tools or strategies that are more specifically related to time management as effectiveness or efficiency, Pareto's principle, Parkinson's law, prime time, and time logs. Effectiveness or efficiency. It is performing a task in the least wasteful manner, usually measured in terms of time and energy. It is selecting or doing the most appropriate thing which require priorities. It is essential to achieve effectiveness while performing activities. Pareto's principle. This principle theorizes that 20% of the time expended usually produces 80% of the results, while 80% of the time expended produces only 20% of the results. Hence, while planning time for performing various activities, allot minimum time required for doing the work efficiently. For this, one should know about the time that may be required for carrying out the various activities. Parkinson's law. This law stresses that a job expands to fill the time available to accomplish the task. When time seems limited and people are busy, they tend to squeeze many activities into a short time span. Similarly, an individual tries to accomplish the job taking more time when they are under less pressure. It means work done expend to fill the time available. Prime time. Knowing when one is more productive can improve both time and use and output. This is internal prime time and corresponds to the period of the day when energy is high for the individual. The time should be preserved for high priority activities that require concentrated effort. Time logs. Time logs are not plans for future but are records of how time was used in the past. Time logs help people see with observation the changes that are needed in their time allocation. Management of any resource includes planning, controlling, and evaluating. Our time management should be in accordance with our long-term and short-term goals. The process of time management are planning, controlling, and evaluating. Now we will see planning. There are three types of time plans. list of jobs. Here, all jobs, big or small, are merely listed and work is accomplished according to the fancy of the worker and the time available. This cannot be called as a plan in real sense. Series of projects. This is more detailed and includes time sequence without definite time limits. Time schedule. This includes both the order of work and approximate time limitation for different activities. Time schedule is a real plan. It is a device of special value of persons who have very little free time. Any time plan must take into account the personal needs, interests and difficulties in maintaining the plan. Plan can be a mental or written plan. Now, we'll see the steps in making time plan. A time schedule requires more definite thought than a series of project plan. It consists of following definite steps. Listing all items of work, group them under flexible and non-flexible. Activities are to be listed and arranged in sequential order. All non-flexible work should be given priority first while preparing a schedule. The next is setting down the time required for each item of work. Setting down of time estimates may be accomplished by experience or by getting information from other sources. Balancing estimated time with the total time available. Bring needs and wants into harmony with available time. These steps call for adjustment with the activity listed earlier as flexible and non-flexible. The next one is determining time sequence and order of work. It requires both listing jobs in order and determining logical time when they are to be done. Writing out the plan. Check the above sequence of activities before preparing the actual final plan of action. Then it can be written so that one gets committed. Coordinating the plan so as to have harmony with others. If the plan is to coordinate with other family members, then the plan should be coordinated with other people involved. Now we will see the essential things to be taken care of while making mental plan. The sequence of work should be arranged in a way best suited to the family work habits. Peak loads should be taken into consideration. Time-saving combinations of activities can be undertaken. Sufficient time should be allowed to perform each task satisfactorily and easily. Plans can be made flexible as far as possible so that it can meet unforeseen interruptions. Alternating light and heavy jobs is also important while planning. Time for emergencies, leisure and rest should be taken into consideration. Include activities for long-term goals. Have catch-up periods. The next step is controlling the time plan. Controlling the series of projects plan is easier than schedule. Time plans can be controlled by having catch-up periods and flexibility in the plan. Catch-up periods are time allowances given while making time plan in order to complete the task in case if there is a delay in accomplishing the plan activity. Breaking large jobs into smaller jobs is easier to check. Having a routine checkup frequently is essential. Getting help from others so that the work is shared and done within the period. Using work simplification tools and techniques. Gauging the passage of time in relation to the work to be accomplished. The individual who has a good sense of time has a valuable aid in controlling her time plan. For the person who finds it difficult to keep a plan in mind, a bulletin board is a convenient place, may be an aid for constant check. Evaluation. Evaluation is a flexible mental tool in time management. Evaluation of time management may be as simple as noting whether a plan worked or not, or as a fundamental as questioning the values upon which the time plan was based. A chart for evaluating time plan is a helpful tool in evaluating. Noting down whether a plan has been worked or not and suggesting possible methods of improvement aid in evaluation. Time is a constant guide which helps in carrying out the day's activities and distribution of various activities in an effective manner. In the past, the scarcity aspect of this resources was not felt and people used to spend it in their own way. In the recent years, with the advent of economic, technological and social development, people have started to recognize its existence as a scarce resource. Proper planning of time, effective follow-up and constant improvement in the use of time have a great way for success in life. Time is a constant guide which helps in carrying out the day's activities and distribution of various activities in an effective manner. In the past, the time demand varies in different stages of one's family life cycle. Now let us see that. Time demands during different stages of family life cycle. Although certain problems in time management are common to all stages of family life cycle, the emphasis on each will vary from stage to stage in every family. Some of these problems are recognizing the importance of securing a suitable balance between work, rest and leisure time. Considering all members of the family in making time and activity plans. Taking time costs into consideration when making choice of goods and plans of action. 4. Lowering time cost of homemaking activities. Understanding the demands on the homemaker's time during the different stages of family life cycle will help families to plan ahead and prepare themselves to meet new and changing time demands. Stage 1. The beginning family is a period of adjustment and childbearing for young homemakers. At this stage, family goals, time and work patterns, work habits and the division of responsibilities between husband and wife are established. Unless the homemaker is employed outside the home, demands on their time are light. Stage 2. The expanding family brings new and heavy demands on both the parents. The coming of children requires the greatest adjustment in the time pattern of home. They center around the problem of guiding and directing children in assuming their places as responsible member of the family, of making time plans together and helping each one to evaluate their use of time. As children approach and reach adulthood, demands on the homemaker's time depend on whether the children go to college, married and leaving the home, or whether they take jobs and live at home. Stage 3. The contracting family covers the period during which the children have become independent. Mothers now have some free time to use as they wish. They can make the most of these years by learning to coordinate their time and recreation plans with their husbands. A gradual drop in their time demands comes with the approach of retirement period. Now we will see the factors influencing on time use. The efficiency in using time is broadly based on the concept and importance a person or a family holds for it. Economic and social status. A person who has got his or her business or get engaged with various problems or activities of personal or others in the society needs more time, especially if they are working for their welfare of the community through voluntary organization. The time demands will be more. Education. The education plays a major role in effective time usage. It is understood that an educated understands about life and management better, and they are quick in taking decisions at different situations and for various activities and avoids time wastage when compared to an illiterate with little awareness. Area and distance. The locality in which a person lives does have an impact in the use of time. If the house is very far off from the heart of the city or shopping complex, schools, etc., children and grown-ups need to spend more time on transportation. Special interest in creative activities. If a person is talented, he would not mind considering much of his time in getting material to complete creative project work, which in turn gives him greater satisfaction. Congenial condition. While playing any role either inside or outside home, a congenial, comfortable environment with innovative, simple operating work simplification equipment will enable a housewife to use her time effectively. She can conserve time for recreational activities and can refresh herself from existence of routine household chores. Health, age and sex. A healthy young individual is generally energetic, and his capacity in doing a job is faster when compared to an old person. Old people on an average are either anemic or malnourished, also food habits are poor, resulting in weak body. Automatically, the work turnover will be less and consuming more time through delayed or slow fatigue work methods. Family size. Size of family is a factor that affects the time spent in homemaking. In a family with 5 or more children, homemaker spends more time than a family with 2 children. Division of labor. When chores in the family are shouldered by all members in the family, work involved in household work needs less time. A mother may receive help from children or in-laws or grandparents who live with the family or from servant maid. The management through tools. The philosophy of management is based on realizing the time availability and our attitude towards management. Knowledge of time pattern of various household activities is an aid for effective time management. Time norms, peak loads, work curves and work simplification principles are some of the tools for time management. Time pattern can be obtained by observing daily records of homemakers, time usage on various household chores, etc. Most Indian women spend more time on food activities and less time on group activities. Constraints on effective time management. The most common constraints on managing time are personal habits, workaholism, procrastination and interruption. Habits. The routine parts of person's day are usually habitual and offer possibilities for improved time management. First, it is essential to spot the time wasters and plan to replace the item with more effective habits. Habits are changed only when people want to change. Workaholism. It may be surprising to know that workaholism is considered as a constraint on achievement. Generally, workaholics put in long hours of activity that looks like work and is physically tiring, which lead to fatigue, stress and causing ineffective periods during long hours of work. They may waste their time and energy on insignificant chores. Procrastination. It is a habit of postponing things. This may be due to fear of being disliked, fear of working hard, fear of failure or fear of losing oneself in work, lack of confidence, lack of adequate information on how to proceed with the work, etc. Procrastination appears in many forms: laziness, indifference, forgetfulness and daydreams. Interruptions. Interruptions in the form of phone calls, unwanted visitors, guests may be major constraint in time management. Before I finish the program, I would like to give you some simple tips that anybody could follow to manage their time in an efficient manner. Write your goals so as to be clear about what you would like to accomplish. Maintain pocket diary or a table diary or event diary for daily schedule. Prioritize your work. Audit the time spent regularly. Work under a pleasant work environment. It may generate enthusiasm to do work. Set practical deadlines. As lack of confidence may lead to procrastination, learn the skills required before you start any work. It will save your time as well as improve the quality of work. Delegate responsibility to others who are competent to do the job. Complete, clear and effective communication saves time. So, communicate in an efficient manner. If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing with enthusiasm. Start the day early. Have catch-up periods between engagements. Work smarter than working hard. Take decision with knowledge, experience, commitment and competence. Don't delay in taking decision. Plan not only for official time but also plan for the whole day. Learn the art of saying no to what we cannot and do not wish to handle. Be polite but assertive while saying no. Be punctual. Do the most important work during the best time. Have quiet hours of creative work. Devote at least 15 minutes for regular physical exercise or 30 minutes of walk every day. Spare time for relaxation and recreation. Place everything in place. Control interruption in work. Use time savers like computers, email, calculators, etc. Listen attentively. Train the staff well enough. Make the most of travel and commuting time. Remain calm, Control your anger. Spend adequate time with your family. Use phone effectively. Deal effectively and politely with unwanted wrong time callers. Distribute tasks systematically and appreciate to your subordinates. In this program, I have discussed about the characteristics of time, tools in time management, process in time management, time demands during different stages of family life cycle, factors influencing time expenditure, constraints in time management, and tips to manage your time efficiently. To conclude, to be an effective positive producer, we need to invest our time and energy wisely and consciously, leading yourself and empowering others to do the same. Take care of your minutes and the hours will take care of themselves. Thank you.